You are watching and listening to Idaho Indie 60, a show based on independent music with a particular focus on the independent music scene in Idaho. Hi, my name is Lo-Fi Tim, and welcome to the show. This is episode 2. On this episode, we will speak with the Boise folk artist Jesse Blake Rundle, the indie rock folk artist Murb out of Pocatello, and the punk rock band Outlaw Stiffs out of Idaho Falls. Jesse Blake Rundle is an indie folk artist out of Boise. I first heard Jesse Blake Rundle when Flowers and Radishes came out in 2020. It was more than just a great album of folk songs. Jesse's arrangements and ability to play multiple instruments made it an impressive debut album. I remember reading the introduction on his Bandcamp page to the album. Jesse talked about his mother's musical influence. I also grew up in a musical family, and I was curious to know more about his background.
Yeah, my mom was a really excellent pianist. Like, she studied in college and was really like a sight reader, where she would read piano books like other people read regular books. Like, you get her a new book and then she sits down for an hour and sight reads all the way through it. But she was great and did a lot of accompanying for musicals and other solo performers and stuff. So she taught me a lot, and just kind of grew up with music in the house. The embarrassing part of this is, like, we had a little family band that traveled around to like Baptist churches in Kansas, like these tiny churches full of old people. Me and my sister and my mom and dad sang a couple songs to the congregation. So that was when I was probably like before I was 6. So I was really little. And yeah, so music was a part of life all the way through. And then my mom passed when I was 27, so almost 10 years ago. And, it was just really devastating. I hadn't really dealt with grief like that. And I think the making of that Radishes album, which took me several years, it took me probably 3 or 4 years to make it, just like going through that process of making something just really was healing in a way that I wasn't expecting. Like, I just made it because I had to. And then kind of as I was finishing it, I'm like, oh, I've like learned a lot in this process, and it's been really good for me. So this special piece of work from me that it just has a lot of layers that mean something to me.
This is the title track of Jesse Blake Rundle's 2020 album, Radishes and Flowers, available on Bandcamp, Spotify, YouTube, and other streaming services.
Ursula in a garden found a bed of radishes. She knelt upon the ground and gathered round the flowers, blue, golden, green. She dressed in red and gold brocade, and in the grass an offering made of radishes and flowers. She said, my dear, upon your altar I have placed the marguerite and cockle and roses frail as April snow. Where none can see, I make an offering of radishes and flowers.
I wanted to know if his mother played classical music in the house. This led into a discussion about him studying classical music and his recent film scores. Jesse also talked about the process of how he started writing songs again that led into the Radish and Flowers project.
Yeah, a decent amount because she would play like Beethoven and Bach and stuff, and then I took some piano lessons, and then I got distracted and stopped playing the piano for a while. But I didn't think it was cool and played bass guitar, and then I got back to piano kind of like the end of high school, early college, and started taking lessons and really starting to study classical music. So for a while there, I like didn't listen to anything besides mostly just classical piano music, like Prokofiev, Rachmaninoff, all the Russians, Debussy, the French guys, Satie. So yeah, I got really into that, and then kind of found my way back to more rock and roll pop music, indie stuff, kind of later on, like after college. So yeah, I just finished 2 film scores in the last year. My friends here, the Lower Gentry Studio guys, they run like that Treasure Valley Live thing that records local bands, and those guys they did a feature film and asked me to score it because they like my music and we're just good friends and like working together. And so that was my first like big composition project in quite a while. But I've always kind of seen myself more as a composer, less as a songwriter. And like I studied a bunch of composition stuff when I was in college and was learning orchestration and theory and ear training and all that kind of stuff. And I just, yeah, that was really my trajectory. And for a lot of reasons, that just didn't end up happening. So when I got back into writing songs again, I was starting out instrumental, and because that's just what came naturally to me. And then literally I had the Book of Wallace Stevens poems open on my chair, and I was playing an instrumental song, and I started singing those poems over top of it. And then that's how the Radishes and Flowers project ended up happening. And lots changed since then. I've really come to enjoy singing and the songwriting part of things and not just the instrumental composition.
This is the Jesse Blake Rundle song, The Emperor of Ice Cream, off his 2020 album, Radishes and Flowers, available on Bandcamp, Spotify, YouTube, and other streaming services.
Muscular one, and bid him whipping kitchen cops, Cubus and Kurtz, and let the girls dawdle in such dress, and let the boys bring flowers and old news. Let be finale of scene. Let be finale of scene. The only emperor is the emperor of ice cream. Let be finale of scene. Let be finale of scene. The only emperor is the emperor of ice cream. Dresser of deal, lacking the 3 glass snubs, a sheet on which she embroidered fantails once, and spread it so as to cover her face. And if her feet protrude, they show how cold she is and dumb. Let the lamp affix its beam. Let the lamp affix its beam. The The only emperor is the emperor of ice cream. Let me be finale of scene. Let me be finale of scene. The only emperor is the emperor of ice cream. Let the lamp fix its beam. Let the lamp fix its beam. The only emperor is the emperor of ice cream.
I really wanted to know about the process of making his first album. I wanted to know how it started and to the finalized product.
Yeah, it started with that first song and it came together really fast where like the instrumental part and the words just kind of melded together. I had just bought a microphone and recorded it and sent a demo to some friends and they're like, "Hey, that's pretty good, man." I was like, "Oh, cool." And that just gave me enough encouragement to keep going. And in that time, I probably wrote 40-ish songs from his poems. It was kind of just all I did. I had a really terrible job then, so I would get home and be just so burnt out from work, and I would just sit on the porch and look through that book of poems and write new compositions and just draft them all out. So I did that for long enough, and then I had some that seemed like, hey, these might be okay. And then I started playing open mics and started trying to get better at recording stuff. And get like I had really terrible stage fright, so I was trying to get better at recording and trying to get over some of the stage fright. And I played a ton of mics, and then I ended up going to Portland to. I asked a guy if he would produce a song for me because I couldn't figure out how to record them very well, and went to Portland, and he did a great job and really taught me a lot about production. And that's what made me dive into kind of figuring out how to record things on my own and all the ins and outs of audio engineering. So I ended up doing a little EP from that project. That EP is not publicly available anymore. I recorded it myself. I wasn't happy with it. And then I've met Nate Agambrod, who runs Mixed Metaphor Studio, or ran Mixed Metaphor Studio, and he just had the kind of vibe that I really liked. And he and I recorded Radishes together over about a year and a half or so. And I recorded a bunch of tracks at home, and he recorded a bunch in his studio, and he did all the mixing, and it just really, it leveled up. Like it was finally. I was finally able to get the sounds that I wanted and make those songs feel the way I wanted by working with Nate on that. So yeah, that was about 4 years, maybe a little more even, to go from writing to actually releasing it.
This is the Jesse Blake Rundle song, Fire, off his 2023 album, Next Town's Trees, available on Bandcamp, Spotify, YouTube, and other streaming services.
Saw the fields empty in autumn again. Another day is done. Isn't it amazing what goodness it gives? Call me dear, call me call gently, call me home. Fire burns brightly, but I'm not one to see all of the ashes and sparkling. Fire burn easy, don't take a light on me. Embers folding and widening. We had it all, 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 we had it all. Oh, and you must have seen the ghost. It was hiding out right underneath the coat. True believer, can't let the fire burn out. Every roadside flower quickens to the mouth. I burn a fire for the future. I burn a fire for the past. I lit a candle for the bread we break and pass around this table and hope it lasts. Can
I have heard Jesse say that he didn't want to be known as the poetry guy. I wanted to know how his songwriting has changed now and progressed to his latest album and EP.
That was kind of it. It's like I want to keep doing this, but I don't want to be the poetry guy.
Yeah.
And I'd written a lot of poems in the past, just hadn't figured out how to write songs that I didn't hate, and so just did a lot of practice. I took like some poetry classes and just ended up writing a ton. And then instead of using the Wallace Stevens poems as my source material, I would play guitar and then have a bunch of just like reams of old poems or half poems that I would just try to grab lyrics from, and that gave me enough. And then I took some songwriting classes and learned the mumble method and some of the other kind of classic songwriting methods. And so those songs just kind of came together through transcript or like taking old poems and turning them into songs, or through the mumble method. And it's but really it was just about being more comfortable writing my own words and getting over this idea that I had, which was like that I have nothing to say, which is still true. Like, I don't really believe I have anything to say, but I realized at some point that didn't matter. Like, nobody has anything to say, really. There's plenty of amazing voices we need to hear. I'm not trying to diminish that, but like, we all have nothing to say in the same way we have everything to say. So just getting over that self-consciousness is what allowed me to really start writing some more songs.
I'd like to thank Jesse for taking the time to talk with me. The last song of his is called Four Figures, We're Okay, off his latest EP, Artifacts of Water, available at Bandcamp, Spotify, YouTube, and other streaming services.
Four figures warmed by the sun. We're okay with it, okay. A cold figure reposed as a plum. We're okay with it, waiting. I can't recall your face clear and plain. Little were the ways you'd know, you would know. Now we're coming to claim a change of pace. We're okay. We're okay. We're okay. We're okay. We're
Murb is an indie rock folk artist from Pocatello. Murb was one of the first guests in Idaho Indie back in 2020. This is the third time I've had the opportunity to sit down with Alex and talk about his music. When I saw that his new album was released last month, I saw some buzz around it on the social media feeds. I wanted to know how Alex felt about the reaction to his latest release. Murb is an indie rock folk artist from Pocatello. Murb was one of the first guests on Idaho Indie back in 2020. This is the third time I've had the opportunity to sit down with Alex and talk about his music. When his album was released last month, I saw some buzz around it on my social media feeds. I wanted to know how Alex felt about the reaction to his latest release.
I'm pretty happy with it. It seems like people like it, especially compared to my last album, which was on me because I didn't. So my last album was Acne Scars and Basketball Shorts. That was 2022, and I just didn't really market it because I was just busy with school and stuff. But now I've had with this album, I specifically tried to build up the I announced it 3 months in advance, and then just dropped a few little songs here and there leading up to it. I've never really done that before, and I'm not sure really what made me want to do it with this one. I was just try something different, I guess, and I don't know. It seems to have worked. I guess maybe it's the most buzz I've had about any of my albums. I know Drastic Park in 2020 had a decent amount of buzz, because I was on your shows for one reason why. But yeah, I don't know. I'm psyched on it so far. Seems like people like it. It's so weird. I always get weirded out when like random people find my stuff somehow or like find out about me. I don't know. Like I'm pretty unsure of like if I even have a following. I feel like I have like a 10-person following, and then it's like sometimes they tell people, and it's like I don't know. But like I don't know. I'm just keep doing what I'm doing.
This is Al Murb song Starlit from his latest album, Bird Shit, available on Bandcamp, Spotify, YouTube, and other streaming services. I remember meeting Alex for the first time and seeing the Built to Spill Ultimate Alternative Waiver sticker on his acoustic guitar. Known for his lo-fi indie folk rock style, with his latest release, Bird Shit, he goes back into a more 90s indie rock sound. I wanted to know about the recording and songwriting process on his latest release.
This album was a lot different because... So I wasn't really planning on like making this album. Like I didn't really play music for like a year almost from my last album, Acne Scars, which was like February 2022. So like February 22 until maybe like February 23, I did not like, I maybe picked up a guitar like 5 times. I just wasn't playing music. I was like getting into like filmmaking and stuff. But so anyway, I guess it was like spring of this year, 2023, I started like slowly just like picking up guitar again, and then just randomly like, it was like some cosmic thing, just like all these songs, just like, it was coming from somewhere else. I was like, okay. And I was hyped on how almost like minimal the songs seemed, or like how they were coming out. And I was like, I should just do this in like a more traditional like rock band format, like electric guitar, bass, drums and stuff, which I haven't done in a long time. Probably Ish in 2018 was like the last album that I really kind of made like this, where it's like a lot of like electric guitars and stuff. Of course, it's all still me like doing it. I don't have a band or anything, but just like, I don't know. That was just like a style I kind of wanted to do for a long time, because a lot like you, I'm into all the like mid-90s indie rock stuff, you know? I was like, I've never really made an album like that, so I kind of just wanted to try it out.
So like, what did you record it in?
GarageBand. Same program like that I've used for all my albums. Same like the drum programming's spoiler alert, it's not me actually playing like physical drums. It's just like programming stuff I do. Like they have like the little built-in, drummers and stuff in GarageBand. So I just do that. It's all that stuff's the same. It's mainly, I guess the part that was different was like the guitars. Like I've been doing a lot more like folk stuff over the past few years, and this was the first time I ever turned to like a more rock sound, or like intended to be a rock sound, I guess, in a while. So yeah. I mean, Built Spill, obviously. As far as, like, my new album, Bird Shit, I think it's kind of, like, obvious. I was, like, listening to a lot of Pavement, and, like...
yeah, I heard the Pavement.
like, Pavement, Silver Jews, and, all that stuff. Like, I was listening to Wowie Zowie so much. I guess if there was, like, an album I almost had in mind as, like, a template, it was probably, like, Wowie Zowie, just because... Like, that album's all over the place, but it's, like, somehow cohesive. And that's kind of what I was trying to do with this album. Like, I wanted to have it be this cohesive sort of, mid-90s indie rock sound, quote-unquote, but have each song kind of be different in its own way, like a different style of pop song. So I don't know if I accomplished that or not. I don't know. I guess maybe I did. I'm happy with it, so I guess I did. Yeah. I've always loved all those bands, but especially, like... Around the time I started writing these songs, for whatever reason, I was just, like, listening to a lot of, like, those bands. And that definitely contributed to me, again, making the decision to, like, okay, I'm going to actually make, like, a rock album, as opposed to, like, the more experimental, like, folkish pop rock, whatever I've done in the past. I don't know how you would describe it.
This is the Al Murb song, Game Over, from his latest release, Bird Shit, available on Bandcamp, Spotify, YouTube, and other streaming services.
Her mom sounds like a mess, and she's got a bunch of face tats, but there's brass tacks on the other side. Street smarts don't hide. Before it's back to Canada, it's searching far and wide. Where is the velvet in the underground? Her idols with the game over game over game over game over game. What's the move here in a hotel spinning laundry beds and over games over games over games over games over games over games. I'm just laughing, never mind, I'm a wallet, I'm stalling the black light out of mini golf's the same one as the bed detectives came to a head in a Maryland front yard. Hard to feel good about what just happened here, there, everywhere, over there, over here, cornered in. What a time, what a place, what a big ass fucking personal waste. Chicken and all for bucket list the laced. Chicken and all for bucket list the least. Game over game over game over game over game. Mumbling in and off his glimpses of my future like a crystal ball. One trick pony, oh, do you owe me? No, never mind, let's just forget all about this.
I noticed that Alex released a short documentary on YouTube on the making of his latest album. I wanted to know more about the short film.
I have a little documentary we made during the making of the album, Bird Shit. It's just like, I have this little like, it's like a, do you remember those like flip video cameras from like late 2000s? I still had mine. I'm like, oh, it works. And then I like roped my friends into it. I was like, you guys should just like record me like record me or film me recording, and we'll just like see what we come up with. And that's kind of what it was. And like we went mini golfing.
Yeah, I saw the mini golf promo too.
Yeah, it was fun. But yeah, that was just like one day of recording. I don't know. Like I said, for this album, I just like wanted to kind of try some new things that I've never done before, like whether it's like documenting the album or obviously it's in a different style of music maybe or a different style of like indie rock that I've done really ever. So yeah, I just wanted to like try some new things with it. I'm pretty happy with it, and I guess it's kind of got me motivated to like keep trying new things on each album, or like reminded me to keep trying new things on each album.
This is the Murb song, Numb Thumb, off his 2020 album, Jurassic Park, available on Bandcamp, Spotify, and other streaming services.
I remember where I was when I first learned flamingo shipping. I was thinking about flamingo shirts that I got for my birthday. Day to day I don't sing, but night to night I cry. I don't feel anything perfect no matter what I try. Lately, I'm not trying to make everything. Crazily, I'm starting to think this feeling might be it. Number than my left thumb from NASCAR 99 on 64. Leading off calling to the Polish restaurant I found, but ending up at the sushi bar next door. My lack of attention to detail used to be a charm, but now it's a bore. I don't see how hanging out with me isn't a chore. I shouldn't think about it like that, but it's so hard to ignore. We're not showing any interest. We feel so sick, but we're not telling anyone. I remember where I was when I first learned flamingos to think from diet. I remember thinking that I bet you already know it. It's snowing, it's April, some shit about quarantine. Maybe if I watch enough films, it's suffering through the screen.
He said no. He said no. He said no. He said no. He said no.
No.
With his sound different on the latest release, and every album being different, I wanted to know what other sounds he might explore in the future. We talked about Blood Cannery and his recent releases over multiple sounds and genres. I wanted to know what was in the future for Murb fans.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. Maybe not that extreme.
Yeah, you don't know,
because like
the big jazz album.
I would if I knew how to like play that stuff. That's like above my pay grade. Like I grew up like on punk rock and stuff, so my musicianship's pretty limited. But yeah, like I definitely, like I said, maybe not that extreme, but I definitely like having each project be different than anything I've done before. And I feel pretty good that I've like adhered to that. I haven't really like made the same album twice, I feel like, or same project twice.
I'd like to thank Alex for taking the time to talk with me. The last song is Broken Bones Brigade, off his 2022 album Acne Scars and Basketball Shorts, available on Bandcamp, Spotify, and other streaming services.
I'm the oldest person at the skate park. I'm not even old enough to rent a car. My arms numb and this idea was so motherfucking stupid, man. Motherfucking stupid, goddamn. printed on my ears. I also can't tell lies, but that's not the only thing I feel solder than gay. I'm disengaging, I'm solder than rage. I'm disengaging, I'm solder than rage. I'm disengaging, I'm solder than rage. Accidental application to the 27th club of the over the hip. My head hurts now, my head hurts now. It hurts now, my head hurts now, my head hurts now. All along the way, I keep on staring at my left thumb. Out of me, the biggest shit out of my stuff. So on the obsessions and I switch it all off in the brief and fleeting moment just to catch my breath. I can't feel my lungs and I can't make up my mind. My lungs and I can't make up my mind. It's gonna be gone. I can't decide if I am the Tony Hawk of indecisiveness or the Rodney Mullen of not knowing how the real world works. How does everything go away?
This motherfucker's about to get lit up. Acne stars and basketball shorts. I'm fuck that nigga. Fuck that nigga.
Well, if that's not a ringing endorsement.
Outlaw Stiffs are a punk rock band from Idaho Falls. They've been playing in the area since 2018 and are known for their DIY attitude and sound. I've always enjoyed hearing Outlaw Stiffs' classic punk rock sound. They have been a four-piece band until recently. I first noticed the changes seeing them open for Otis Julie's at the Jam earlier this year. During the set, I also noticed it was all new material. I want to know more about the recent changes.
It's been about a year now. Well, a little over a year. We've been a three-piece. So we had Jay, who was our bassist, and then just he's been around music a long time, so he developed some hearing loss problems and just stepped down. So I just stepped up and took over bass duties, and we just went on as a three-piece and moved forward. So that was really the only reason behind the transition.
Yeah, Jay just couldn't do it anymore.
It's all new stuff. So when we went forward as a three-piece, we'd been playing the old material for about 4 years by then, so we were kind of ready to move on with some new stuff anyways. So that was kind of our main focus, is we just moved forward with new material. And, only now we're starting to kind of go back and learn some of the old stuff. But our main focus was just to get a new set out, with some new songs written. And that's kind of what we've been focusing on for the last year or so.
This is the Outlaw Stiff song Black Spot off their 2022 album This Is Hard, available on Spotify, YouTube, and other streaming services.
Outlaw Stiffs! We are agreeing to Outlaw Stiffs and some crazy crap. Time to fly, take back our rights, our pen bad is due. Both parts long, we've been trying it on
Sometimes when a band lineup changes, so does their sound. I want to know if their songwriting process has changed now that they're a three-piece. I also wanted to know how the adjustment was going for Russell to start playing bass for the band.
I mean, it's a little different. We don't have Jay's influence, obviously, and it's so with that, it's kind of changed our sound and our technique and kind of what we look for in writing a song. And we try to just kind of keep it simple and just, good old traditional rhythms, and then Joey's really great at just going over top of stuff and doing what he does, and we just kind of roll with that. So Jay had a little more on the metal side influence, and we were probably a little more crossover with Jay around. Now we're probably a little more traditional punk, I think. But,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
but that's just influences and just how it comes out when you're writing. You're influenced, and what you write is just different because we don't have his metal influence in it.
Yeah, you can say Jay's very, very into heavy metal.
Yeah.
So because actually, what you guys do in the influences, you just got a little more like an old school, like LA. Sound Southern California.
Yeah, definitely SoCal. We do have some Ramones, kind of a rockabilly. The Queers are a big influence for all of us. Teenage Bar Rocket, kind of that type of group. We like to maintain, some melody. We attempt melody, and try to keep it a little more just good old fashioned punk. Yeah, I had experience playing bass years and years ago when we were kids, so I'm old, my hands don't work that great, so I have to keep it pretty simple, but it kind of fits into what we do anyway, so it's just good hard driving bass lines, nothing flashy. So yeah, it's been a transition to say the least, learn how to sing and play bass at the same time, but I think we've moved through it pretty good. So.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Outlaw Stiffs song, Anarchy is Ecstasy, from their 2022 album, This Album is Hard, available on Spotify, YouTube, and other streaming services.
Anarchy is ecstasy!
Being from Idaho Falls and being near Chance and Russell's age, I wanted to know how the music scene, particularly towards punk and independent music, has changed over the years in Idaho Falls. We talked about Johnny Nichols and the Gem, DIY house shows, and other things that have changed the atmosphere.
Punk's come a long ways in Idaho Falls. A lot of bands worked really hard, and you've got Johnny and, multi-genre stuff that's supporting each other. So I think just with that alone, Punk's come a long ways, the same as, the hip-hop and the stuff that Johnny does. And so, I think Punk's grown in both Idaho Falls and Pocatello as far as the community goes, and its acceptance is getting, better in, I don't want to say the bigger shows, but probably the higher profile shows. It's getting to be a lot more accepted as an alternative to just metal or just DJ, We've done a lot of really multi-genre stuff that, we opened for Combi Christ, which was so far beyond anything that we would fit into naturally, and through that support, I mean, everybody's grown, and I think punk's come a long way. So
Yeah.
and I think people like punk. I mean, they like the attitude of it, and it's just, it is what it is, you know. It's never going to be a high dollar market, but it's doing all right. So, well, I mean, for one, I mean, because we came from that same era. Like Chance and I both grew up, you know. We were playing music together back in '88 with the shock rock, you know, crap high school band, and
Yeah.
so we came up through all that. And back then, it was like a footloose mentality. It really was. We played a Battle of the Bands one time, and I don't know if you go back far enough to remember a nightclub called Boulders that they tried to open in town, and we were going to play there, and the fire marshal literally came and shut the show down. You know, we had like 13 bands, and you know, we went back as far as then. So back then, shows were few and far between, and it was brutal. There was a lot of competition, and bands there wasn't a lot of camaraderie. You know, you were they were your enemy because they were competition, and you wanted to play the handful of gigs that were even available to play. But I think, you know, way back in 2016, even before we formed this, I was putting on just DIY punk shows, just rounded up, you know, all the DIY guys I could get my hands on, and we were just throwing little shows at, you know, Decadence or wherever, and eventually it grew into, you know, hosting some shows for the gym, and man, promoting, you pay a little bit out of pocket to get that all going, and then it kind of took off. And Johnny's always had a soft spot for punk and those kinds of things as well, so he's done his fair share of throwing punk shows, and I think just the, you know, like I was saying before, I think the camaraderie and has just really helped develop everybody's genre of music. And so you see the rewards of that in the punk scene, but it's not just punk doing it, it's the town in general, and just the understanding that, hey, if we want to have anything happening here, we got to do it, and in order for that to happen, we got to all kind of do it together. So, and I think that's kind of what's drove the growth in all areas, in Pocatello and Idaho Falls, because Pocatello's going to grow as Idaho Falls does, and vice versa, because the bands intermingle. I mean, we get mistaken for a Pocatello band all the time, you know, so it's kind of one and the same. I feel like it's more southeast Idaho, and for the most part, I think all the artists do a great job of kind of keeping that in focus and helping each other out.
This is the Outlaw Stiffs song, Delusional Empathy, from their 2022 album, This Album Is Hard, available on Spotify, YouTube, and other streaming services.
Cannabis and keeps scooting, pygmies rolling, stone 40 behind the saving center where I live. Gangsters, talkers, give me reason to think that I am open season. Conspiracy much larger than it should be. Voices say it's me they're after, and that I really managed a mysterious group of superhuman beings. One day they'll win and get the way, and one won't surely make me pay, because my brother does some army thing. Vibrations are haunting me, it's not a lot more than you see. They want you to think they are cutting grass. One thing I know and I'm sure, they misuse my material, and everyone in town plays along. Salt Lake 2! Baby Scott, I stole my 40! 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 Some part of one big plan of global tricks make me mad, and woman moms follow me around. They think that I don't know the best, I whisper weird shit as a terror, and I know they know that I know they know. Crazy people should not recreate psychotic conspiracies. Reality got lost along the way. Well, I hope he finds what he is after. I pray it will be a disaster when it all catches up in the end. mom didn't like the dick pics. Big Me's got 'em, stole my 40. 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 Big Me. Big Me. Big Me. Big Me. Losing all empty. Losing all empty. Losing all empty. Barrel is fucking cliche.
I wanted to talk about their first release, This Album Is Hard, which came out in 2022. I wanted to know how the process went and what was the plan for recording the new material.
So
Here in the basement, it's not our best work. I mean, we love the song, you know, but we certainly had no idea how to record.
We bought the recorder and just
Yeah, fumbled our way through the mix and everything.
What does this button do? Or what does this button do?
And then I fucked up and booked us. You know, we had our album drop, you know, scheduled before we had the album, and so then that put a lot of pressure on us. So we kind of rushed it out. Yeah. So it's not. I mean, we're not. We love it, and they're all great songs. But we'll probably someday maybe revisit
It'd be
going
cool.
back and redoing a lot of them.
It'd be cool to go back and like redo it.
And then we're looking to go in, you know, into November, into December, and record our second album. So
yeah,
that's hopefully be coming out. We'll be doing that here, probably DIY as well.
So what's the plan, like here again, or does he have another friend or something like that?
What's that?
What's the plan, like to record? Are you gonna do it here again, or are you gonna?
Yeah, more than likely we'll just do it here again.
I think we have a better idea.
Yeah, we got a lot better idea how to do it, and we've got all the gear and everything here. We
won't try to rush.
Yeah, and we're not going to be under the gun. I haven't booked as a release date yet. So.
I'd like to thank the Outlaw Stiffs for taking the time to talk with me. The last song is Life, off their 2022 album, This Album Is Hard, available on Spotify, YouTube, and other streaming services.